Hello everyone! Today we're diving into the world of equations. By the end of this video, you will be a superhero in equations. You will be able to know what equations are, and tell if they are true or false. And you will also be able to solve them either by inspection or by using algebra. Let us get started. Firstly, what is an equation? An equation is a mathematical statement that has two sides separated by an equal sign. So all what you need to look for is literally this equal sign in between the two sides. Can you tell which ones are equations? Well done. The common thing between the answers is that all of them have equal signs. What is a true equation? A true equation is an equation with two sides that equal the same value. For an equation to be true, the two sides must give you identical results. Like this one, both sides are equal 6. It is a true equation. If the two sides don't equal the same value, the equation is false. Your turn. Is this equation true or false? Substitution. If you have an equation with a prenumeral and you are given its value, you are expected to substitute it. Then you can check if your equation is true or false. Check this example. If b is 3, figure out if this equation is true or false. Firstly, we start by substituting b. Then we do the math. Left-hand side is 2 times 3, that is 6, plus 4 is 10. Right-hand side, 2 times 5, which is 10. Both sides equal the same value. This equation is true. Your turn. If x is 10, is this equation true or false? Equivalent equations. As we said in previous videos, equivalent means equal. So, equivalent equations are equations that look different, but their prenumeral has the same value. They are equations that can be transformed to one another. Let us say I start with x equals 4. It is an equation. If I multiply both sides by 2, I will have 2x equals 8. By doing this, I created a new equation that is equivalent to my first one. Now we will learn how to solve equations. Solving equations means finding the value of the prenumeral that will make our equation correct. Sometimes equations can be solved by inspection or by guessing. Guess the value of x in each of the following. Well done. While this method works for simple equations, it's not always reliable for more complex ones. Complex equations must be solved algebraically. Our goal is to find the value of the prenumeral. So it doesn't matter how my equation looks at the start, because at the end, in all of them, I will only have the prenumeral and its value. To do this, we need to remove all the numbers around our prenumeral to have the prenumeral sitting on its own on one side. I really wish we can just wipe them off, but unfortunately, that is not the case. We can only remove them by applying opposite operations on both sides. Wait, what? Yes, so if I want to remove plus 2, I do minus 2, because plus and minus are opposite. And if I want to remove times 4, I divide by 4. Let us apply this on some one-step equations. In all these examples, we need to remove all the numbers that sit around the x, because we want the x to be on its own. In the first one, we can remove plus 2 by the opposite, which is subtracting 2, from both sides, so x equals 7. In the second, we remove minus 4, by adding 4 to both sides, so x equals 12. In the following example, as you can see, this 10 is multiplied by x. To remove a multiplication, we use division, so divide both sides by 10, x equals 3. And in the last, to remove this division, we multiply by 5, x equals 40. As you saw, in all of them, we applied the opposite operations on both sides. And every time we do an opposite operation on the side of the x, we follow it up by crossing off the number we are removing. It is your turn. Pause the video and solve these simple equations, then check your answers. Last thing to learn is, how can we solve bigger equations or equations that have fractions? Guess what? We follow the same strategy, and we start to remove the numbers one at a time, starting from the number that is furthest away from the prenumeral and working our way towards it. I want you to notice the order of removing the numbers in these examples. Then we will solve them together. In this equation, we start by adding 4 to both sides, because 4 has to be removed first. It is the furthest away from y. Now on the left-hand side, we only have 7y left, and on the right-hand side, we have 24 plus 4, which is 28. Next step is to divide both sides by 7. Answer is y equals 4. In this equation, we start by adding 5 to both sides, because 5 has to be removed first. It is the furthest away from the prenumeral. Now on the left-hand side, we only have 8a left, and on the right-hand side, we have 27 plus 5, which is 32. Next step is to divide both sides by 8. Answer is a equals 4. In this equation, we start by subtracting 2 from both sides. Now on the left-hand side, we only have 5x left, and on the right-hand side, we have 17 minus 2, which is 15. Next step is to divide both sides by 5. Answer is x equals 3. And in this one, we start by removing the 9. Minus 9 from both sides. Now on the left-hand side, we have 3z over 2, and on the right-hand side, we have 18 minus 9, which is 9. Next, we multiply by 2 to remove the division. Now we have 3z equals 18. Last step, divide both sides by 3. Answer is z equals 6. Well done, everyone. You have learned a lot about equation, but as you know, practice is the key to success. Check the description box for a practice worksheet, and if you have any comments or suggestions, type them in the comments below. See you next time.